Hi, guys. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with a teacher of the 8th Trigram Palm style, known as Bag Zhang. He has immersed himself in the art for well over 20 years, having experience in multiple styles, such as the Yin and the Fu styles of Bagua. He is a founder of the BGZ Wellness, a website dedicated to promoting health through the practice of massage therapy, Qigong, and Bagua Zhang. Please welcome Sifu Craig Seaton. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing quite all right, quite all right. I have to thank you very much for being with me today here, okay? For speaking with
Appreciate it.
us. I know we all have very busy schedules, so I do thank you. I'm very appreciative of your time. So let's get into this interview, sir. Right? How did you get into the martial arts, Sifu Craig?
It started actually from reading and being interested in the quote unquote chi and the energies and all that other stuff, right? So I started with Tai Chi after reading and walked in through that door, but as I got into it, I realized, oh no, this is not just some magical chi thing. This is actually a martial art. And then it kind of opened more doors, It wasn't just the energy at that point. I started to see the whole picture.
All right, all right. So you said you started with Tai Chi. What style was that?
It was a yang style Tai Chi, short. It was a real short form. I think it's the Chen Man Ching 35 or 37. I'm not too sure at this point if it's 35 or 37, but yeah, I came in through that door. And then I went into Xing Yi, which is kind of like closely related, one of the internal styles, and did that for about 3 years. And then since that, it's been Bagua, you know, and that was
Okay.
99.
So do you have any experience in, lots of people would say hard styles or external styles, because it seems like you started in an internal style and just stayed internal, went from Tai Chi to Xingyi and then to Bagua.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's my whole journey. I didn't do karate or anything or ninjutsu or any of those things. It's just been the internals, and there's a I don't want to say internals because it kind of starts a separation. It's just kung fu at the end of the day, because there's still things that you have to do in the internal styles that you have to do in the hard styles, like stretching, physical conditioning. You have to open up the body, strengthen it, and then you can relax. Then you can do all that other stuff.
Mhm, mhm. Oh, that's absolutely awesome, man. That's absolutely awesome. So, if you don't mind me asking, Sifu Craig, what exactly is Bagua Jar?
Bagua is a kung fu system that it incorporates a lot of movement, angling. Um, Outwardly, it looks you'll see a lot of spiraling, coiling, circling movements and stuff like that. But it's just like everything else. It's really it's really just the practice of being there and not being there at the same time. So you don't want to take um the confrontation head on. You're not gonna bang it out like straight on. You know what I mean? You want to take a little angle here. You want to be as sneaky as possible. You know that's my interpretation of it anyway. Ask somebody else, you might get a different thing. You know.
Okay, okay, okay. So, question though, okay, so Bagua literally meaning 8 trigram and
Mhm.
Zhang mean palm, right?
Right.
So, all right, this is purely based off of just theory why it's called 8 trigram palm. Is there something having to do with the fighting style why it's named that as well?
No, it was just kind of the theory of the I Ching and the trigrams within that, and the theory behind it kind of mimicked how you wanted to practice. So it kind of like marries itself in theory, but it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the style, per se. But it's just like let's say Tai Chi. If you were to call Tai Chi Yin and Yang, what exactly does that mean? Is it yin and yang? Are you doing the symbol, or are you doing what's behind the symbol? You know what I mean? What's behind the concept of yin and yang? You know? So
Exactly,
it's
I understand.
yeah, yeah. It's that thing. So initially there were other. It was called a different name, Bapanzang, or pardon me, I'm butchering it, but it didn't have that correlation. You know, the Bagua 8 trigrams correlation that was added later.
So, seeing as how you have experience in all three major internal martial arts, right? Which would be Taiji, Xinyi, and then Bagua. Right?
Mhm.
This would be a very, very operative question for you because I'm very interested in knowing myself. Right? What are some differences between the styles that you've practiced and teach right now?
Mm. Um, at the outwardly, let me see the similarities. I'll start there, which a lot is stillness, a lot of meditative practices, a lot of learning how to open the body, connect with what's actually going on within you, and along with the strength and conditioning and all that other stuff. But the core, the thing that makes it different for me is like the qigong, the meditation, the stillness. You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
that for me, yeah, that for me is what separates it from everything else. And within the styles, it's just different methods, you know, just different methods of the same thing.
Hmm. Mhm. Because the thing about it is that one of the things that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable speaking with you is that your style of Bagua is the Fu style, right? But one of the styles that you practice is the Fu style and teach, right? And one of the styles of Tai Chi that I teach is the Fu style, coming from the same family, coming actually from the same guy, right? So I've always thought, and I've been taught from my teachers, right, that Tai Chi always what you'd liken Tai Chi to, say, a still lake, right? One of those lakes that's so pristine and still that you can look in. It can be a mirror, right?
Hmm.
While Bagua is more like a white rapid, a white river, always moving,
Right,
constant
right.
motion, going around and around and around. So,
Yeah.
my question to you in that respect, how true is that?
Yeah, you can make a lot of correlations for that. I mean, but yeah, you still need you need both. That's why, Tai Chi is not as still as or slow as people make it out to be, and Bagua is not always as turning, twisty as people make it out to be. There's a marriage there. There's a stillness, and then there's movement. You need both. They're going to be useless without each other. You know,
It's like
that's
that
the
coin.
yeah.
You have to have two sides of the coin,
Yeah,
and that's what you have right there, right?
yeah, and I'm mostly a yin guy not nowadays. Mostly yin style, which is considered one of the harder, not necessarily difficult, as in harder, but more like outwardly hard, or it would appear more external. But it's still internal kung fu.
How can someone benefit from the practice of Bagua?
Man, listen, we could be here all day with the benefits. I think one of the most like the best benefit would be I guess, awareness, awareness of yourself, awareness of your emotions, being aware of the skin that you're in, especially today with like a lot of mental health issues and things of that nature. It could be just invaluable to just layman that you don't have to practice it for martial arts. You don't have to be top fighter or anything of that nature. You know what I mean? It could just be there to help you throughout your day. I think that's the best benefit of all these arts, as a matter of fact.
Is Bagua Zhang practical for fighting?
Hell yeah. If you train it for fighting, you can't you if you're not training it for fighting, then it's not practical for fighting. You know what I mean? You can practice boxing, but if you're not in the gym and you're not sparring, if you not haven't gotten to that level where you're sparring, you're not, then it's not practical, is it? But if you're in there mixing it up and you're practicing your boxing with that in mind, then now it becomes practical. So it's the same thing for Bagua, or Kung Fu in general. A lot of people do the forms, the Qigong, meditation and all that. But if you're not fighting, you're not ready for it to be practical. Bottom line. It's not about being a badass or anything like that. It's just, what you're doing. Make sure you know what you're doing before you start claiming things, Like, that's got to be stressed. I think people just, get the idea that you practice forms or you're in. Well, I guess that's been kind of debunked now with like MMA and everything, where you can't just do the forms and people think, oh, he can kick some ass. That's not necessary. It might not necessarily be that. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Understand. Some very good points. It's very true. But I will say this. There are some people who still do look at the Tai Chi forms. Right? So
Yes, we can
some
see you.
people,
No, it's all good.
it's all right, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But there are still some people who do look at your Tai Chi form or your Kung Fu form and so wow. Because I mean, to be in all honesty, um, these forms are especially when you're performing it for others, it's just natural that you're just going to put a little bit more oomph in it. You're going to put a little bit more zest in it, right? Just try
Right,
to
right.
make it a little bit more fantastical than it normally is, right? But I do completely understand what you're saying, because I've always been the same train of thought. If you want to fight, right?
Right.
You want to get good at something, you have to do it, right? And you have to do it a lot. So if you want to be good at fighting, fight a lot. You want to be good at forms, practice a lot of forms. So,
And there's
so
nothing wrong with that. You can get a lot of benefit out of forms, cardio. You can stay fit, nice and limber. There's nothing wrong. There should be no shame in people saying, yeah, I just do it for the form. I do it for the aesthetics of it, or just to keep fit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. I mean, it's just the same thing as going to the gym. Uh, Say you look at the bodybuilder and you look at the bodybuilder, he looks very impressive, but you're not going to say, I'm scared of him. I think he just because of how he looks, he can fight.
Right.
So it's the same thing. I do understand it. I definitely get you. Let me pick your brain some more, Sifu Craig.
Mhm.
In your honest opinion, what do you believe is the hardest part of developing one's kung fu?
Dedication. Being dedicated to the whole art, not just a part of it. Developing kung fu, it's a it's a it's not just one thing. It's not just okay, your body's in shape and now you're it. And it's a constant wheel. You don't stop. You don't make it and say, all right, I'm here, I'm done. You're always in school, basically. That's why I don't call me Sifu, don't call me master, none of that. I'm always a student of this thing that's always evolving. I'm learning new stuff every week, every day, you know? And it's usually new stuff about yourself. That's the key, you know, for me anyway.
It's a good train of thought, right? Always to keep the student's mind. Right, that's a great answer as well. That's a great answer as well. Dedication is right the hardest part, and I agree with that 100%. So, next question for you, Sifu Craig. Right? If you could teach the new generation of martial artists only one thing, it could be technique, it could be philosophy, or it could even be both. Use your discretion. What would it be?
I would. Good ass question. Let me see. I would definitely one thing, stillness. I would teach stillness. You know, as simple as Wu Chi, just learning how to be in your skin. That one right there. Everybody can take away something with that, you know, and it's transferable to life. You know, you can teach people how to kick or whatever is that gonna really get to the core of them? Or I'd like to give somebody something that they can take and they can build on it. It can make their world better, you know? I think standing meditation, stillness, that sort of thing, it's unrivaled, you know? It's like one of those hidden gems. And if you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing, you know?
That's a great answer. Yeah, the fundamental thing about what you say is everything comes from Wuji. Everything comes from stillness. Right.
Right.
So it's a very profound thing you just said, sir. So that's a great answer as well. I have one more question for you. How can you be contacted?
Yeah, you can hit me on Instagram. It's under Stay Nice. Old pen name. Let's not get into that now. But STAINYCE. And that's Instagram, Facebook. I don't even do Twitter, but I'm on there. All the socials is STAINYCE, all over the place.
Information for Sifu Craig will be in the description down below. Also in the description down below will be a link for Feiyue Shoes. If you need a pair of Feiyue shoes, click the link in the description down below. Get the best deal, get the best prices, all at Feiyue Shoes. All right, Sifu Craig, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Man, bless.
And I hope we can link up some other time so we can speak some more about Bag Zhang. Right, so
no, definitely.
All right, thank you very much, Sifu Craig.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, brother.